Hello everyone, my name is Cosolix and welcome to the video. Today we are going to be doing a weapon tier list. We did a legend tier list in the previous patch. I might make another legend tier list after final round, but this is my weapon tier list because I didn't make one. There were some small balance changes in the last patch and it's been a couple days only, so this could change after final round, but this is what I believe is going to be the best to worst weapon. Obviously some weapons are going to be in the same tier, so they're very close to even, but then others are definitely, they have more advantages than others, so you can't really blame me for putting something higher. And no matter which weapon you play, you can always win any match. It's just a matter of how well you play and counter picks, etc. Like anyone can win with any weapon. I know Lance and Sword aren't the best weapons, but Remy's playing Roland right now. So and I played Roland in the past. I play Hammer and Lance, which are two of the worst weapons in the game. But yeah, we'll be going over exactly everything. But guys, make sure you hit that sub button, turn notifications on if you want to get notified when I stream and like make videos. Join the Discord, links down below, because there you can talk and stuff like that. And yeah, I got a join button, so if you guys want to join, it'd be pretty cool, but you don't need to. Anyways, let's get into this. So, which weapon? We'll go from... I might change stuff around. Also, I'm using tiermaker.com. This is actually a really good site. I highly recommend you guys use this. But when doing tier lists and stuff, because it's so much easier. Someone recommended it in my comments. But okay, we'll start with like best to worst. But then I might change things as I discuss in my head, because some of the weapons are just so even and it's controversial. So like, there's nothing obviously 100% agreed on, but these are just my personal opinions, and they're very similar to other pros, but a couple things in the middle are changed. First, best weapon in the game is Scythe. Just, I think the majority of pros can agree Scythe is the most potential for both gimping and good neutral game. The thing which makes Scythe so good is you can turn around and get gimps off stage with one move. It doesn't matter which direction you're in. For example, if you, let's say, do a Sair on Lance towards the stage, if you did something that covers very similar hitboxing, like Scythe Nair, then instead of it going forward, you can control it going forward or back, which is, no weapon has this. It's insane. So Scythe is the best, and also when you're off stage, you don't actually have a disadvantage, which I think every weapon has a bit of a disadvantage if you're below the person off stage and someone is above. But the thing with Scythe is you can just nair, and then they're that way. Like, you can't do anything. This is the stage, this is the person, let's say on the stage, so this is Scythe, you can nair and just send them backwards, get a 50-50 read, and you're done. It's crazy. Scythe's neutral game is both on stage and off stage, and no other weapon is exactly neutral off stage. Weapons have advantages and things like that. Like Lance is awful off stage. If you are in the neutral game off stage, which like if you're off stage and even advantage, Lance will not win 99% of the time unless I land like a dare or something, but very rare. And you can still do wake ups after my dare and hit me, so it's kind of crazy when other weapons you just can't. So Scythe, number one. Number two, Bow. Bow is incredibly quick, great combo potential, and is probably the most popular weapon right now when it comes to professional gameplay. You saw both the winners of Winter Champs who used Bow, Blue and Boomy. Bow is in, like, it's not ahead of every weapon by a landslide, but it's one of the most consistent weapons, very similar to Sword, where it's very quick, not too much overcommitment. If you make a mistake, you don't necessarily get punished for everything. But it's also got some crazy combo games, side light, down light, end light, and a bunch of reads. Its off stage is incredible. Bow is a great weapon. So I think these two are just my 2 in S tier. Everything else I don't have that much of a problem with. I think those two weapons do need nerfs. I think Scythe a bit more of a hard nerf to its active inputs. But Bow, just small nerfs to maybe make strings a bit more less reliable. Because like side light, down light, end light, in my opinion, is kind of crazy. And it's just so quick, and it's got a ton of priority with down light. You can hit people with far away and you don't really get punished. So like small nerfs and stuff like that will obviously make it a bit more even. I'm not saying nerf it to the ground, but like Scythe is kind of like It's not abused by pros just yet, but it's at the state where it could be. Okay, so the next couple weapons I'm going to put in A tier. I think guns are always going to be consistent. If you're a good gun player, you don't have that many weaknesses. You've got a lot of priority. Downlight picks up close to stacked. If you are a good gun player, you'll find out how to protect yourself against aerial aggression, because gun, side light, end light, and downlight all pick up horizontally and downwards, nothing above. So something against bad gun players who play on the ground, you can just go hammer dare and just take them out every time. That's what I do. But against Boomy and other players like LDZ, guns can really, like, I feel like they're a bit harder to learn, but they've got a ton of potential, especially killing early, great off stage with dare. Neutral game is very good. It's very easy to bait with quick attacks like sidelight that are unpunishable if you are horizontally away from it. It's in a really good spot. So yeah, guns next. Orb. I think Orb could even be higher on this tier list. It's just a matter of time before more players pick it up. I saw Izadrew was playing Orb, and Orb Dare with the low recovery frames is insane. Like, it's such a good pressure option. You can't get punished for it. Like, it's so good. And its combo game is really good. Sidelight as its combo starter is insane. Even downlight grounded as its combo starter. You've got 2 combo starters with true combo follow-ups and tons of strings like downlight, nair, sair, sidelight, downlight, nair, sair. Like, there's like, it's strings obviously, but like they dodge down. You could go like sidelight, downlight, they dodge down, GC, sidelight, sair. Or nair and then sair if they don't have a dodge. Yeah, nair, sair. So like, you could do some crazy stuff with Orb. It's just a matter of time before more people play it, and it's got good offstage gameplay. Its ground pound is alright. It's a decent ground pound, but there's no real weakness to Orb in my opinion, other than its like lack of range. It's very similar to, like, I'd say it's like Sword with more horizontal momentum. So it's like a Sword Lance type of thing. I don't know. It's a good weapon. So yeah, I think those 2 weapons are the only 2 in A tier. I think they're just really good. B tier is gonna have a bunch of weapons because I feel like they're very even. To kickstart B tier, I think we're gonna start with Katars. I think Katars are just super quick, reliable. They're in a good spot right now, very even. Nair is unpunishable, great string potential, completely counters unarmed, which, like, not many things can do that. And Katars are the land killer. You see almost every single land won on Katars. Was Montreal? I don't really know. But Noel winning like all the EU lands. Wrench placing top 3 in every single event he went to. Noel placing pretty high at like Montreal. And yeah, every single EU land. It's like one of the most consistent LAN options because of how quick it is, and the string potential on LAN, it's incredible. With zero lag Katars are definitely high B tier. I'd put them in A. On LAN, online B tier, but definitely the top end of B tier. They're just so quick and reliable, and its string potential and combo game is really strong. Next, Gauntlets. Gauntlets are all very, very similar to Katars. They're in a very good spot. Combo game is insane. The 2 things that Katars and Gauntlets lack is kill potential without gimping, but they're both incredible at gimping with. So if you've got good offstage, these are the 2 weapons for you. Together, they're kind of the same thing. That's why Caspian's pretty bad. There's no diversity, but like Gauntlet's very strong, great string potential, things like that. Not many kill options, but yeah, the string potential combo game, it's insane. On LAN, I think they could be a lot better than they've performed right now. But there's players like obviously Sandstorm playing Gauntlets and doing some nutty things at BCX. So yep, Gauntlets. Next on the list, I would put Spear. Spear is very similar to like Katars and Gauntlets as a way in like how even it is right now. The Sair nerf definitely brought it down from A tier. Spear is great priority in neutral game with Endlight and Sidelight. Sidelight is really good at setting up for dodge reads. Once you get one dodge read, you can get things like Downlight, GC Downlight Sair, and some incredible things. Ground Pound is one of the best offstage moves just because of how much it covers off the stage. Recovery is pretty good. Just an overall good weapon. Definitely not something bad. Next, this is pretty surprising because there's not many people who would say Sword is at low B tier, but it is. Sword is really good, but that Sarah nerf definitely hurt it a little bit. It doesn't keep as much pressure as landing a Sarah off stage anymore. Like if you land a Sarah off stage a couple patches ago before the Sarah nerf, but like a month ago or so, you would have got the kill a lot sooner than you would now. So it's a lot harder to kill with Sarah. Dare is a good move. Nair is one of the best moves in the game. Recovery is pretty good. Ground pound is really good off stage. It's overall a good weapon. That's why it's still in B tier, but it's still not as high as it was before, just because of that Sarah nerf. Recovery is a bit less consistent as Sarah, and like Sword is good, but there's nothing that stands out about it anymore, like having kill options, string game, neutral game. Now the kill options are a bit more difficult. Downlight recovery is still pretty easy to land, but it's one of its last kill options. Its gimp potential is pretty good, but not as good as Katars and Gauntlets. Dare is really good, but still B tier. Nothing that stands out like A and above, but that's the end of B tier. So C tier. Top of C tier is Lance. Lance has a ton of potential when it comes to combos. Very similar to Scythe in a way. It's like a horizontal, horizontal heavier Scythe where you can like bring people off stage with Sares and Dares and stuff like that. I've been doing it a lot recently to get Gimps. It's really nice, but just because of how risky some of the moves are, and if you have a good enough reaction time, you can dodge through them. Like Simba dodged through Sare on the at Winter Champs against me, and I couldn't do anything because Lance just has too many startup frames on Sare, which I'm not saying makes Sare better. Sare is an incredible move, but it's got those weaknesses. Similar to guns, all the grounded options are horizontal, and light, side light, and down light. So vertical coverage is very difficult. You got to protect yourself with jump nairs, but jump nair only covers the top area. There is that diagonal area that you can punish people with. Like Orb Dare could punish Lance if used properly. Lance just has some glaring weaknesses where other weapons just don't have as much. And because of its heavier nature, it's a bit easier to punish. So moves are a bit riskier. Weaknesses, that's why it's C tier. I think to make it higher than C tier, making moves like downlight a bit, I wouldn't say more reliable, because true combos of downlight that are consistent are kind of bad. But if you, I don't know, like I don't want to like buff Lance to the extent, because if you buff it too much, it's gonna go A and S tier. Like, it's incredible how often the Lance has been broken, but if you buff it too little, or if you nerf it, then it's going to quickly fall to C and D just because of its heavy nature. Very similar to Axe. It's not really in that mid-range, unless maybe talk about 2v2, but Lance is like alright at 2v2. Anyways, I don't know exactly how you'd buff it. I think maybe make moves like Endlight a tiny bit quicker. If Downlight was a tiny bit quicker, that would be pretty nice with less active frames. And maybe combo game in earlier health, kind of like Vrax has, that doesn't lead into anything late health, but early health combo game is really good. Lance is really good at like building up damage, so like I don't know, if D-Light had true combos in like white or something, that would be fine, but I'm not saying that they should do that. Lance is in an alright spot. You shouldn't be buffing it too much. I'd say Lance is as best as it's been in a long time. I don't know. I honestly don't know how you would change Lance, but it's in C tier. It's just a bit worse because of those weaknesses. But yeah. Next in C tier, this is a 1v1 tier list, by the way, but we are going to put Hammer. Hammer is very similar to Lance. It's got some glaring weaknesses on the ground. Hammer only has side light, down light, and end light, so things again that cover diagonally can really punish it. Hammer Sare is the best kill option in the game. It's quick, great force. Dare is also a good option. Nair is a good option. Hammer Downlight is a combo starter though, is very difficult to land. It's got some really close and low priority hitboxing, so moves can really punish it, and moves can also out prioritize it quite easily, honestly. Only way to land Downlight is like maybe a spot dodge read, like spot dodge when they aggress, and then downlight like what low cap does. But other than that, the combo starter isn't very good, so Hammer combo game is very difficult. That's why I find Hammer neutral game very difficult as well. I prefer Lance neutral game a lot more. Just because of those glaring weaknesses, I put Hammer in C tier, but its kill potential is really good, and it's still quick enough to not get punished by literally every move it does. Like, Downlight is quick, when other weapons that are even below Hammer, they're just not quick enough. Super easy to punish or low priority, and we'll get to that in a second. But that's why Hammer is at the bottom of C tier. Next on the tier list is Axe. Axe is, I would call it the noob killer. It's got a ton of priority, a ton of force, good combo game, and that's why you see Izuju do so well consistently, because people don't know how to deal with his axe. I barely started learning how to deal with it myself, but good players, like, it's kind of difficult as well because Lance and Axe counters Lance, because Axe Sidelight prioritizes all of its grounded options, but good players who are a bit more aerial can really aggress Axe, like Scythe, for instance, bow, guns, if you land like gun dares. Quicker weapons that still do a lot of damage can really punish Axe. Sword, for instance, Katars getting close on it. You can punish Axe so easily because Axe Sidelight, Axe Endlight, Axe, well, Downlight's kind of fast, but Nair, Sair, even Dare, Recovery, Ground Pound, they're so slow. You can punish them at high level gameplay. If you are lower level, it's a bit more difficult to punish, making Axe a really good option, aka the noob killer. But once you learn to punish it properly, it's not a good weapon whatsoever. It's way too slow. But the big problem with the big dilemma with Axe is it's so good in 2v2 because people punishing your teammate, you can punish the punishers. Like, let's say I do like an Axe ground pound, super slow move, and I miss. Okay, so one player Axe ground pound, this person punishes the Axe ground pound, let's say with like a signature or a combo, probably a combo. Let's say I do Sidelight on Lance, then the teammate can punish my Sidelight, right? And can get a combo of their own. So it's all about punishing the punisher, and that's why Axe, despite it having a lot of recovery frames in 2v2, it's big force, and if your teammate knows how to punish the person punishing you properly and you guys stay close, Axe is really dominant in 2v2. And it kills super early as well, because Axe Dare is insane offstage. So yeah, it would be really high on the tier list in 2v2, but in 1v1 you just don't have that person that can support you. So Axe is D tier, and the worst weapon in the game is Canon. There's many reasons why Canon is the worst weapon. Its combo game is alright. It's not as good as other weapons, but it's not as bad as some of them. Like, Scythe has no true combos, maybe like a couple with weapon throws involved. But it's quick. Canon is not quick. Scythe has active inputs. Canon does not have active inputs. Canon Sair has no priority, maybe very little. Any grounded move is going to out-prioritize it. The only way to make it useful in neutral game is you're hovering above the ground a tiny bit. But good players will eventually learn to punish you, and certain weapons can punish that. Lance Sidelight, for instance, can't, but something like an Axe Sidelight can. Same as like a Spear Sidelight, etc. Canon Downlight is a super risky combo starter. It's super slow if you miss. Canon combos are pretty easy to get out of. They've got some nice strings. Sidelight is kind of weird. The kill options are alright. Sair kills eventually. Endlight is a okay jab. There's just nothing good about this weapon that like stands out. Like, maybe Downlight Nair as a combo can kill, which is actually not too bad, but it's just so it's heavy, it's risky, and it's got no priority. It's kind of like bad in every category. There's like and I'd say it maybe has some potential above this tier list, but no pro has really driven the meta. Maybe just Stevenator and Starlight, and they're good, but they're not that good in 1v1. So in 1v1, I haven't really seen a good Canon player. No offense to them, but I don't remember the last time they placed top 8 with Canon, or anyone placing top 8 with Canon in 1v1. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and comment. And if you disagree, please post in the comments your tier list down below. I'd love to hear your opinions. And if you agree, share this video. Say that this is the best tier list, because if you agree, you agree. Obviously, one tier list can't be better than another, but if people mutually agree on something, like Scythe and Bow being S tier, which most of the pros do agree on that, then you kind of know, hey, maybe this should be changed, and then people can think of ways to make it a bit more fair. And then also, weapons like Canon, what can be improved. Thank you so much. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.